Welcome to the K. Willis Positive Vibes Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the K. Willis Positive Vibes Podcast. K. Willis Positive Vibes Talk Show on 1580thepraise.com, a gold chip communication station. And I have Dr. Marc Graham, Ph.D. is a distinguished engineer, educator, and innovator with a passion for design, teaching, and creativity. A proud East Cleveland native, he excelled as a straight-A student and champion wrestler before earning his bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees in mechanical engineering from MIT. With nearly 20 years of teaching experience, over 30 years of industry experience, and 14 patents to his name, Dr. Graham has played a key role in developing life-changing medical devices. Beyond engineering, he is a devoted husband and father of 3, a music lover, and an avid traveler. He now consults with startups and established companies, driving innovation and product development. So, thank you, Dr. Graham, again. It's part 2. I appreciate you for coming on the talk show. And you guys, Dr. Graham is my first cousin. This is my cousin for real, you guys. So my dad is the oldest out of 4. And then it's Dr. Graham's mom, Aunt Sandy. Shout out to my Aunt Sandy. I know she's listening. She listens to my show. Shout out to Aunt Sandy. And the Weaver family. Shout out to our cousins because they listen. Mark's mom, Aunt Sandy, and our cousins Doris and Melody, they listen every week. They're like, I got my coffee. We love listening to your show. And they were so excited when I said, I'm interviewing Dr. Graham. They're like, oh, yeah, that's my cousin. So I know they are excited and just looking forward to this episode. So, yeah, but we're going to go ahead and kind of recap last week for the people who didn't listen. I also upload all of the episodes on my YouTube channel. So it will be on K. Willis Positive Vibes Podcast on YouTube. So if you guys want to check that out as well. But, Dr. Graham, he grew up in East Cleveland. Well, he graduated from Shaw High School. And he was an undefeated wrestler at Shaw High School. He looked up to his big brother, Carlos. Shout out to my cousin, Carlos. He is the oldest out the Willis family. So shout out to Carlos. And he looked up to Carlos, and Carlos would put him in headlock. He was like, oh, no, I'm about to wrestle. So Mark started wrestling. His junior high school coach told him he was going to be undefeated. Mark was like, yes, I'm going to be undefeated. So he was undefeated. A lot of his teammates, they were very encouraging. Even the people that weren't his teammates that went to school, went to Shaw, was very encouraging as well. And one of Mark's best friends, Charles Hightower, told him about MIT and opportunity. And, so Mark looked into it. He had an opportunity to attend a program. His homeroom teacher told him about it. He studied, got in a program, and look at him today. 14 patents, over 30 years of industry experience. And we're going to go into part 2 of the interview. All right. So, towards the end, we also mentioned about Mark is an artist as well. So he goes by the name of Polo. So if you guys, he has the songs Kings and Queens, and it is on Apple and Spotify. So if you guys want to download that song and listen to it as well. All right. So you not only earned 3 degrees from MIT, but also won awards in design, manufacturing, and even poetry. How did you balance your technical and creative interests?
So I'd say, well, I've never participated in anything academic or recreational, with the intention of being awarded. I mean, I entered competitions because they were fun to do, but, winning was just like a bonus. Mm-hmm. And when I got to MIT, I thought, there wouldn't be any time for me to do anything but engineering. But MIT actually requires students to study humanities, arts, and social sciences. So balancing my technical and creative interests, it was a requirement, actually. And I was grateful for that because I needed both, the technical and the non-technical outlets. So, the word is at some point, MIT realized that, people aren't fully rounded if they're just completely focused on the technical. They turn out to be people that, I guess, don't have a high EQ. So, high IQ but no EQ. Mm-hmm. So they made it a requirement to have some balance. And that was perfect for me because, as you mentioned, I was already doing a lot of other things. And having them be a requirement so that other people would have to do other things as well kind of helped it not be a distraction for me. And something that was rewarding and required.
Okay. So you said when you entered the competitions, but you didn't enter it to win. But once you won, it was like, okay, that was good. That was worth it.
Yeah, then, I would try to win. I got in with the meaning to win once I got in it, but the whole goal was, the whole time I was doing something, it was because I liked it. Mm-hmm. I didn't do anything. Say, for example, I'm good at something, but I don't like doing it, then I don't pursue it. And I only do the things that I love. And then with that, winning kind of comes along with it because you put everything into it.
That's good. Yes. And then you said that MIT, they wanted you guys to study the humanity, arts, and social as well. With that, going to MIT and studying that, did you meet any other people that you thought you would never be friends with just because you were doing the humanity as well? The arts?
No, because it was the same people.
Okay.
They were, so everybody that was doing the technical courses, they were also doing the humanities, arts, and social sciences. So, yeah, it was, basically the same people. But people would pursue different interests. Could be some people, friends that I have in mechanical engineering that we probably don't take the same humanities, social arts, arts and social sciences courses where, I may have more overlap in those courses with somebody in, say, electrical engineering. But the black engineer community at MIT when I was there was so small and we all knew each other, that, anybody that I was in the living groups where I was, I already knew them in those classes. And then, I'd say the non-minority students I met in classes and, developed those friendships mostly in classes and group projects, but also in the dormitories, getting to know people.
Okay. So you said that the black community was basically, you guys knew everyone there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys still friends and stuff now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. So it's, once again, like a smaller Shaw community, family again.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Now, we mentioned it a little. How did you come up with polo?
That was Uncle Gordy.
Oh, are you serious? Shout out Uncle Gordy.
Yeah, he's been calling me that since I don't know, since as far as I can remember.
Oh, wow. Yeah, shout out to our Weston family. Uncle Gordy, Aunt Cindy, Aaron and Tracy. Shout out. Oh, so it's because you used to wear Ralph Lauren?
No, he just called me, because my name is Mark, so.
Oh, Marco Polo. Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. And then you just kept that, and that is your rap name.
Yep.
So with that being said, too, the Kings and Queens, how did you come up with that concept? And I'm on the cover. So shout out to Mark. He has his whole family and friends. We are on the cover. You guys make sure you download Kings and Queens on Apple Music and Spotify. So how did you come up with the Kings and Queens?
So Kings and Queens, one of the guys that I was on the wrestling team with at Shaw, Andre Smith, he has a music ministry in Ohio. It's called under construction.
Oh, wow.
And during the pandemic, he sent me a message, and I hadn't heard from him since high school. This would have been, 30 years, almost 30 years. And he said that our wrestling coach, Jerry Morgan, told him that I record music. And he said, let's do a song together. And I was like, great, let's do it, And we recorded a song, The Street Don't Talk. Actually, we recorded, I think, 5 or 6 songs together during the pandemic, and Kings and Queens was one of them. So he sent me the music for Kings and Queens. And, it's like, let's make a song, Kings and Queens. I reached out to Jason and asked Jason if he would sing the hook. Mm-hmm. And Andre already had the hook for the music. And Jason went in the studio and sang it. I wrote something completely different than what was the final song. When I heard what Jason was singing and how he was singing, I said, I have to write something else. This isn't going to work. Mm-hmm. He really killed it. So I decided to go back to the drawing board. And what happened is this was like, I wrote this song after January 6th. 2 days before January 6th, I was at work. I was working late night, in the lab. And, after midnight. And I came out of the office, and I went to my car. And by the time I got in my car, the tire was low. Mm. And I keep an air pump in my car because in the wintertime, sometimes the tires get low. So I was putting air in the tire, and all of a sudden, police cars started pulling into the garage and, trapping me in from both sides.
Wow.
And, basically asking, what am I doing there, after hours and everything. And I'm telling them that I work there, and they wouldn't believe me, So they were, holding me there and saying that, I had to find somebody to confirm that I worked there. And this is, like I said, after midnight, or they were going to have to take me to the station.
Oh, Lord.
So I just called a coworker. I guess they just needed to hear a voice that didn't sound like mine. Mm. And, after about a half an hour or so, they let me go home. And then 2 days later, I'm sitting there at home watching all these people storm the Capitol for hours. And then the president coming out saying, everybody go home. And that was it. And I'm like, what was that? Right? And then you had the George Floyd killing. All this stuff was just pouring down. And that's what inspired, what I wrote in that song, so the first verse is just kind of like, a shout out to all of the people that survive day to day with all of the hardships and everything that we go through for centuries. And then the second verse, it's like a tribute to George Floyd. And then the third verse, a shout out to his daughter. And, just how inspiring it was when Spear, saying Daddy changed the world and everything. And that's what inspired that song. So.
So you were just minding your business and, pumping your tire up, and then the police coming out of nowhere and harassing you.
Trap me in, yeah. I'm showing them emails, all kind of stuff. Showed them my MIT ID even, I showed them my driver's license, but then I'm like, here's the, if you think I'm out here, and they tell me it's because they have young kids that come to the parking lot to drink and smoke, and I'm like, I'm sure not by themselves at 1 a.m.,
Right.
So,
pumping up their tire.
yeah.
Wow.
And anyway, I got out of there, but that was one thing, but what really got me after that was just that watching that January 6th, and then, just head home, everybody, you did your best.
Right. It's unfortunate how some things, and people can get privilege, and you just mind your own business, and they harassing you. So I just thank God that you got out of that, and it was nothing else happened. So praise God that happened. Shout out to Andre Smith. Like I said, Jason Champion, he killed it on that song, Minute Large. Jason Champion from Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to him. And he also did some stuff with Kirk Franklin as well. So shout out to Jason Champion. Yes. And rest in peace, George Floyd. God bless his daughter. And we shall overcome. It will one day the last will be first. So hopefully I'll be here to see that day. But and it just shows people shouldn't discriminate. I mean, you can't just discriminate. You have to, when you do your job, I know some people want to do their job good, but make sure you're thinking and being wise when you do your job, and just don't harass people. So, yes.
Yeah, I'd say we overcome every day. We get knocked back a lot, but every day we overcome.
Every day we overcome.
It's just a loop, It's just the Black History Repeats Month. With everything that's being talk about cancel culture.
Right.
So, yeah.
Unfortunate, but hey, I don't. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. So, but back to you. Well, once again, you guys, and I'm gonna say it towards the end as well. But you get kings and queens, and now that you guys know the background and how it came about, definitely download Kings and Queens on Apple Music and Spotify. It's a beautiful song. So, yes. So back to that, with MIT. So what excites you the most about engineering and innovation today?
Excites me the most, it's probably not anything that I'm really working on, but clean, renewable, sustainable energy, I think is exciting, because in general, engineering, you try to make things more efficient and have continuous improvement, and that's an area where we still have a lot of room for improvement, and we really need to improve. So I think that's exciting. I mostly do machine and instrumentation design, which is exciting as well. But I think if I wanted to start over and do something completely out of the box that I'm already working on, to be more clean, renewable, sustainable energy based. But I work as a consultant now, so there are opportunities, to do small things in those areas, but it's not the bulk of what I'm doing.
Okay. That's good. Any tips for someone who would like to get into that?
Into
clean
energy?
Yes.
So it depends on what they want to do in there. There's all types of opportunities to have less waste. So I'd start to focus there. The less waste, the less energy, right? Because it takes energy to resolve the issues that are caused by waste. So you can start there. If they're an engineer, then there'll be lots of opportunities in clean energy, because a lot of funding that's going into those areas. Well, it varies. Sometimes it comes and goes. It's in waves, and then sometimes that funding starts to get tightened based off of politics for the most part. But I'd say you look at a person's background, see what they're doing, and that'll be what helps determine how they can play a part in clean energy. For example, like even with fashion, the fast fashion with the new clothes that are released every week and everything, like at Costco, that's pretty bad, right? It ends up being a lot of waste and everything going around. So, making clothes that you can wear for years. I know a lot of people wouldn't want to do that because of the style or whatever, but trying to design something that's timeless. Similar to how you could have a sports car that's going to burn a lot of fuel and make a lot of noise and get beat up and need to be replaced pretty quickly, or you can get something that's more efficient that looks nice, gives you good gas mileage or fuel efficiency, I should say, and will last a lot longer. Then that's the approach that you take. Really, how can you limit the need for change over time? Because that change is going to have some energy cost to it.
All right. I like how you said with the clothes too. That would be nice if someone can come up with something to make it more efficient. So
the fabrics and everything. It's like,
so that's something someone can get into. If you're in fashion, that would be a good way to go to help with, market your clothing. I like that. Yes. Now, also with engineering, so I'm not sure if you are aware, but our great grandfather, he used to build homes. He built the Rock House. Have you been to the Rock House in Alabama?
Mm-mm.
I've never been there as well, but I want to go because we have a cousin that lives in that house, and it's a historical house, and he also built churches as well in Alabama. So I wonder if that's something. Do you kind of sometimes think if you get engineering from someone in the family? I'm like, I wonder if Mark gets that from our great grandfather Major.
It had to come from somewhere, I guess. You just educated me. I didn't know those things. But my father was also really good at technical things, and he had his own little workshop.
Oh wow!
And he would make stuff all the time. He bikes was a big thing for him. He made a checkerboard that I really liked out of some plastics that he gave me for one of my birthdays, and he used to make chessboards and everything that would light up, and lamps out of all kinds of things. So I think, no pun intended, that was the spark.
Oh wow! Okay, shout out Uncle Kelly. Rest in peace to Uncle Kelly. Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, because I was always I talked to, because thank God for Ancestry. I got in contact with some of our cousins. You met one of our cousins, Kenya, and then we have a cousin named Wayne. He lives in Akron. Shout out to Wayne. And we have a cousin, Cena. She is 90 years old. She lives in Washington, and she actually met our great grandfather. He was going to a town in Alabama to build a church, and one of the guys said, "Oh, I know some Willises. Maybe you guys know each other." So Cena's mom and our great grandfather, they met, and they were like, I don't know. No, I don't know you. No, they just kept asking, "Do you know such and such?" Said, "No, I don't know." And then the last person, our great grandfather said, "Oh my goodness, I know him." So that's how Cena's connected with our grandfather and his siblings and stuff. It's just crazy. But yeah, our great grandfather was going to town to build a church. So he built churches in Alabama, and it's a house. It's a Rock House. It's a historical house in Lafayette. And I have to see the Rock House. They said, "Oh, the house is so beautiful." Cena's told me about it. Cousin Doris, I believe she used to live in the house too. I could be wrong, but I believe she lived in the house. But yeah, it's a house. I didn't go to Granddaddy's funeral in Alabama, but I know your mom did, and my father, and a couple of my siblings, they went. They said they actually went to the house. So it's
Wow.
still standing and everything. And one of our cousins, I met him on Facebook through our cousin Doris. His name is Eric. He sent me a picture of the house. So yeah, so I have to go. I don't know, something about Alabama. I'm always scared to go. And they're like, you travel all around the world, but you don't want to go to Alabama? I'm kind of scared of Alabama, but I want to go because it's like a mission for me. I have to see this house. And then Cousin Wayne told me it's a town, I guess, where all the Willises, you have to, you can only go if your last name is Willis. So I want to go to that town as well. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know any of that. Wow.
Yeah. So it's a house. Maybe we could all take a trip and go down there and see the house. But I always, when they tell me about our great grandfather, I'm like, that's probably where Mark gets that from, because he's smart. Because just to imagine, like, to build a house and the technology that you have to have back then, and the house is still standing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is intelligence. So, yeah, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So, yeah, you get it from your dad, and you get it from both sides. So, yes. All right. Well, it was a pleasure. It was an honor, actually, to interview my first cousin. I mean, it's not a 10th cousin. This is my first cousin. So it's been a pleasure, an honor. I appreciate you taking out time with your family, and hope my cousin Antonio gets well soon. So I appreciate that. Devoted father and awesome cousin. I mean, I couldn't have a better cousin. I love my cousins. Like, I love my cousins. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your love and support. Always supportive. Always.
Thanks, Kay.
Yes.
Love you, Kay.
Yes, I love you, and I appreciate you. And I thank you for all that you do for all of us. You are an amazing person and beautiful inside and out. And speaking of that, how can we reach you?
LinkedIn is the best way to reach me. Like I said, I'm on other social media platforms as well, so you probably can find me on Facebook or Instagram, but the most straightforward, that seems to be LinkedIn.
All right. And then also, once again, I'm going to keep on plugging this. My cousin has a song. It's Polo. His name is Polo. And Kings and Queens on Apple Music and Spotify. You guys can download the song. And now you have a back history on the song. So hopefully that helps you guys download it. And with me, we always accept sponsors for the show. So you can always email me at kwillis, Positive Vibes Talk Show at gmail.com. And it's K Willis, Positive Vibes Talk Show on 1580thepraise.com, a Gold Chip communication station. Please like, share, and subscribe to the K Willis Positive Vibes podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the K Willis Positive Vibes podcast. Please order my book, The Principles of Overcoming Life's Obstacles, a 31-day journey to positive living, available on Amazon.com. Until next time, stay positive.